Howdy, my name is Nolan T. Painter, and in today's video I would like to discuss how phones are pretty bad for your health. Now, we already have this idea that phones aren't good for our health, right? We're all told that as growing up, but why, right? Why are phones bad for our health? Well, I would like to specifically discuss social media, right? And I guess I don't really use TikTok, and like the only social media I use is Instagram, right? I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a fiend for Reels, so I'll use that as today's topic or today's area of exploration. So using Instagram as our example, why is that not good for us? Well, first of all, it's a waste of time, right? You got to keep in mind this is a business, right? Yeah, they're providing us with something, but their goal is to make money. Their goal is to keep us addicted, right? And they're like, oh, how can they keep you addicted? Well, it's a business. They're meant to keep you on their platform as long as possible, right? The same way a YouTuber would want to extend retention by making a good video that lasts, like, would keep you engaged, or the same way that a bank would always want you to use their product, Instagram always wants you to stay on, right? So their reels are intentionally designed and manufactured in such a way that they're designed to be addicting. Right? You're meant to be addicted to that stuff. And what happens is, first of all, it's a waste of time because you spend hours consuming it when you really could spend that time doing other things. Even just 5 minutes, 30 minutes, when you have a big schedule like mine, that time cuts into work, right? Oh, I could have completed a task, but now I have to do the task later because I was sitting watching Instagram, and now I have to go do the next thing. So that stuff will cut into your time, and it's a shame because, well, we need to use those moments as a good man to do something a bit more productive. Why don't you journal or write something down rather than spending your time on Instagram, right? And even without the problem of spending time, okay, what is it that you're learning on Instagram, right? Even if somehow time was never a problem and you spent like negligible time on there, even in that time, what are you learning, right? People scroll all day and then they don't remember a single video they watched, right? They're not trying to learn videos, they're not trying to watch videos, they're chasing a feeling. They're chasing dopamine, they're chasing a funny laugh, right? Oh, maybe the next reel would be funny, maybe the next reel is funny. They're chasing news, they're chasing engagement, right? They want to have their mind engaged without putting in effort, and that's why people who use that stuff are stupid, because they're just melting away, right? It's called like brain rot for a reason. It's literally rotting your mind because it's force feeding you something that's supposed to be funny without you actually putting any effort in. So you're just reaping the reward without putting effort because it's so easy, right? That's the equivalent of, instead of hunting for your meal like we would have, a long time ago, you just brought it in like a fast food chain, right? And we all know fast food is unhealthy. So why are we totally acceptable with Instagram and, other likewise places? But why are we so acceptable of Instagram, right? And say it's totally okay when instead of actually having real life engagement with friends that you work towards and having real moments, you're just being force-fed dopamine, right? The same way that you're just force-fed fast food instead of actually hunting and cooking your own food. It takes all the positive outcome away from it. It's ridiculous. And we can get even more specific. If you look at, what's being presented, it's all just not necessarily dopamine, but it's fake. That's what it is. You see people's accounts filled with just attention-grabbing material. And then, like I said in another video, what happens is when all you see is this attention-grabbing material, and almost like you're selling yourself as a product or an object, attention then becomes a currency to buy yourself. So everyone is selling their attention, everyone is chasing after this attention, everybody like fiends for it. And then what you get is a really unhealthy society that uses attention as a currency. And that'd be a bit of a discussion for another video, but essentially attention is what destroys people, because then you have individuals who go to parties or crave stuff or have the fear of missing out because they want that attention, because that's all they're taught, right? They're being indoctrinated. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist or a crazy person to say that. It's the truth. If a kid grows up on that stuff, which they are nowadays, then what are they going to learn? Well, they're going to learn that attention is the number one currency. They're going to learn that the easiest way to get dopamine is just to watch that stuff and consume themselves with it, which is what they do. And then they don't search for real life significance. And that's what we see nowadays. And you're being indoctrinated by it. And that's not a big scary thing. That's just the truth. So my advice is to just stop. Do whatever you can. Get off of that stuff. And the videos are even worse. Don't get me started on the relationship videos. This is a bit of a side tangent, but as a man, don't ever take advice from someone who's like never been in a real relationship before, right? Like, I know we all say that, and then we like try to offer some advice or take some advice, but don't. When I came here and left my partner to be here, I was so stressed and so worried, and my buddy was like, yeah, block her, dude, block her. Get her out of your phone. And I did that. And honestly speaking, that was like one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. Because now I miss them so much, and I called and I talked to them, and they're like, why did you block me? I'm so confused. And I feel like a fucking asshole. Because I listened to my friend's advice. And now my friend is like, yeah, move on, bro. You don't need her. She's chopped or whatever, this and that. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. I'm a man. I'm going to do what I want. And if I want her, then I'm not going to let you influence me. And that's basically Instagram all the time. All you see are these reels or these posts that say, oh yeah, your girl's going to college, she's not your girl anymore. Or, this is how you should treat a woman, or this is how you should do that. Now granted, every once in a while you will get a solid video, but literally 99.99999% of it, right, is legit trash. And you'll have way more success just having open communication with someone than doing that stuff. No matter, why would you want to send them reels or share reels of like, oh, I love you so much, when you can just say it, right? Why consume reels about relationships when you can just have one and say the things that are in the reels and have conversations that actually develop things that you're told to develop? No matter, you shouldn't follow what they're saying, because everything is so unique and so precious that most of the time it doesn't even apply. So if you're on Instagram and you're being told to act a certain way with this woman, don't listen to it. Do what your mind and heart desires and think it through rather carefully. And if your friend tells you to do some bullshit like block them or that they're not worth it, fuck that friend. Like, get rid of them. That's not your friend. That's someone who just wants to see you fail because they don't realize how deep you truly want that. Right? Again, that was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. And I'm still to this day, I'm incredibly hurt for that. And I can only imagine how hurt I made her. And there's no pain worse that a man can feel than the pain of hurting somebody else that you really care about. I'm terrified. I lose sleep over this. I literally struggle to get sleep. I have nightmares over the day about how I've hurt this person. And it haunts me. Like, really. And I'm spending every moment to try and make myself a better man for that. But all of that comes from that outside influence, right? Because he was an absolute fiend on Instagram. All he would do is just watch fucking reels all day and waste his life doing that. And then what is he doing now? He goes to parties. He hangs out with friends. He doesn't work. He's a smart guy and he goes to school and he works hard. But why should I take advice from him? He was like sending me videos and pictures of him buying thousands of dollars worth of stuff in like the first month of school. What are you doing? Why am I letting people like this influence my life? And my advice to you, if you want to be a good man, don't let these people influence you, right? Especially on Instagram, because Instagram is full of those type of people, right? Don't let them influence you. Think to yourself what you should do and go to people who are genuinely like wise. Like, I went to my father for help. And my father, who I consider to be a wise man, told me to be patient and wait and be gentle with her. What sounds like a better piece of advice now? Now that I've waited, I'd have to say my father. Because my father was experienced in a loving relationship. He has a wife after all. He made me. So please search your advice from what would definitely be a good source, a valuable source, a source of wisdom. Not your friend, unless they're incredibly wise, right? But even then, like myself, who tries to be incredibly wise, I don't have enough experience to give insanely good wisdom. So don't search Instagram because it's full of degenerates. Don't search your buddy who has no experience and doesn't give a shit about you, right? Search for real, genuine advice, right? This is what I mean when phones are bad for you, because it's corrupted his mind. And in my vulnerability trying to find help, he was bringing that corruption towards me. And now all I have is this insane desire to just find this woman and hug her and tell her how sorry I am and how much I miss her and how I want to just spend the rest of my life with her, and how stupid I was to follow the advice of him and everyone else who I let influence me, rather than just be myself and be a genuine good man. And I pray every day and every night, believe me, I do, that I will have some sort of opportunity to prove this to her, right? And a lot of people will see that. A lot of weak-minded people will see that and think to themselves, oh, well, this man is clearly obsessive. What is he doing? He's got it all wrong. But this is really important. This is pushing me to be a better man than I ever have. This will bring me to a future that will far surpass any other future I could possibly have. This will bring me to the status of someone who's rich, both not just in finance, but in love and in God and in faith and in kindness and in family. This will bring me to a rich life, a fulfilling life, right? Not sitting on Instagram or on my phone, listening to the advice of people who just waste away all day and go to parties. Don't do that. Don't be weak-minded. Don't fall for the pitfalls that this world sets up for you, because it's all a business and you're just a number. And if you want to break out of that, then you need to find true and genuine purpose. And you find that in someone and never something, because anything is not more important than just one person. My name is Nolan T. Painter. Thank you very much for watching.